Greetings everyone, this is First Centurion 753 with a mod review of two different mods that recently came out for the game Hearts of Iron 4. These mods are both focused on the Victorian age. One is the Heart of Darkness Victorian era, and then the other is the End of a New Beginning. Okay, so the first one I'm looking at here is Hearts of Darkness Victorian era. Both these mods have been recently updated in July. This is July of 2017 right now. And this is a really cool time period in history. This 19th century is one of the reasons why I chose this. It's right they start around 1860. I think both of them do start in 1860. And this is like right before German unification and Italian unification, so there's a lot of maneuvers going on in Europe, and there's also the Civil War going on in the United States, which is also pretty cool. So a lot of these have some good aspects to it, but there is some work that a lot of them need to do. I think both these mods have potential, and looks like people are continuing, their producers are continuing to update them, which is good. And I just wanted to give a quick review update of what the situation is with these two mods. What is my opinion? Starting with, like I said, Hearts of Darkness. There's just one scenario right now, whereas the End of New Beginning does have 3 different scenarios, which is better. But we'll see what happens here. So with this one beginning, starts in the 1860s. Rising tensions worldwide. The conflict arises within the German Confederation. This really does the whole unification thing very well. It also starts you off with the United States, but there's one big error here is they have James Buchanan. The election is 1860, and that's accurate. But the last time I played this through, Lincoln is supposed to take office in 61, around March 4th of 61, and this game has, I guess, Buchanan playing out. I don't think he didn't even run for office in 1860. So that's one first flaw as an American. But if you want to play as James Buchanan, he does have descriptions for each one of these scenarios, so that's cool. So it tells you what the situation is. You have a different faction here, the monarchist faction. This allows justifying war goal time, reduces to 25%. But it seems like you will quickly end up moving away from that. A lot of them will. We have the faction for the Habsburgs here in Austria. We have one for the Russian Empire under Tsar Alexander the Second in the Romanov dynasty. You've got the Ottoman Empire, which is another cool one to play. There's Prussia, which is the country that ends up creating Germany. You have Queen Victoria in the Victorian era, the peak probably of the British Empire, James Buchanan, and Emperor Napoleon III. Let's take a look at the Ottomans here. We'll do this real quick, and you can see the Ottomans have a lot of territory, which is really cool. So you can try to play like a preserving the Ottoman Empire thing. I think that's a pretty cool scenario that I'd like to play out. Another cool one would be Austria, and maybe try to prevent Germany from uniting the provinces. Obviously, you could play as Germany or as Prussia. There's going to be some issues here within the German Confederation here. You've got different countries of, what do we have? The Kingdom of Bavaria. We've got Hanover. We've got more of Prussia, Hesse. We said Bohemia is part of Austria. Mecklenburg. All right, if you Saxony. All right, if you play your opening Versailles, you're familiar with all these areas, right? Württemberg, all that stuff. So pretty good, interesting. You could probably play as one of those if you want to try to survive. I don't know if you could. France is definitely another cool one to play as. Spain and Portugal, you can try to revive their empires, I guess. Would be a cool scenario. And then, of course, the United States with the Civil War upcoming. I don't know. I haven't played out to see what happens there. You have United China, you have Japan, and you have Korea before they were taken over by Japan. So maybe you could try to do something there and prevent them from taking over. A lot of Africa has not been colonized, so Curious to see if you can actually go into these areas and colonize them yourself, or if they're going to set up something within that mod to do that. The Persian Empire is there. You have the Khanate of Turkestan. Okay. And Russia, obviously, is huge. Huge Russians, all right? So starting positions for this game are pretty cool. One flaw right away, though, is they don't start with armies. There are no armies. No one has any armies to start. So I really don't like that part about it. Italy is not united, so you can try to play Victor Emmanuel, Garibaldi style and try to unite them. Let's see, do they have... Okay, King Francis II. There's Victor Emmanuel, and there's the papacy that's still there. So you can try to maybe play as a papacy. Austria is going to be a big factor in that probably. The Greeks have their independence, and those are the scenarios. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, cons for this one. You only have the one scenario to start off with, 1860 for now. You don't have any starting armies. You've got James Buchanan. The national focuses are all kind of the same. There is no like specific national focus. They're all just these very generic national focus. So you have an army effort, industrial effort, political effort, and naval effort, which is kind of disappointing right there. When you go into research, you've got like this old... You have the equipment... the modern equipment, and the time to research this equipment makes sense. Kind of makes sense, 15,000. So that's good. So you can't do that right away until it comes around. Okay, so this all makes... You do start off with these modern destroyers and cruisers here, which I don't like that aspect of it. You can also... the aircraft doesn't come along for a while. Doctrines you can do right away, which doesn't really make sense for aircraft because there is no aircraft, but it might be something that you might want to grab early on, grabbing these doctrines early on to give you an advantage. So there's that. Industry is weird because you can actually develop atomic energy within a decade probably. So I don't know if you can start nuking people in the 19th century with this game or what, so that seems a little bit off. This industry kind of makes sense because you do have the Industrial Revolution going on, or you have the Second Industrial Revolution going on during this time period, so that's not bad. But this atomic energy, it's a little ridiculous. And so some of the technology is off in the game, and like I said, national focus isn't anything... interesting, really. And the other really big flaw I have is you can actually build aircraft transport planes now. That's something that needs to be fixed. But unlike the other mod, trade does actually work. And that was one of the biggest flaws I have with the other mod, which we're going to go into right now. The trade function in the other mod, when I tried to play it, did not work. Alright, so this was, again, Hearts of Darkness, Victorian era. Pretty cool starting points and scenarios. I think there's a lot of potential here. I wish they would... I hope they do a little bit more with the national focuses to have them very, nation-specific. And the other one is what they can do with, making it more realistic with some of this technology. That's not realistic right there. Okay, so that's Hearts of Darkness. And here we go to the next one. And so here is the other mod that we're going to look at here, and this is End of a New Beginning. Same time period, Hearts of Iron. You have 3 different scenarios this time, which is a little bit better. However, they don't really give any descriptions in any of these scenarios. They give it for this one, but I think a lot of this one is actually... I think if you select... Oh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, a lot of this... seems to just be this 1939. These are just the same descriptions from the beginning of the game, so they haven't made any changes there. We do have our boy here, Abraham Lincoln, so that's a little bit more accurate. Let's take a look at the 1860 version so you can compare the differences here. And like I said, we got Lincoln. Other major, or these are secondary, I guess, dynasties that you can play. South Africa, that could be cool. Brazil, Brazilian Empire. Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, the Chinese, okay. This is the Russian Empire, same people there. You've got the Habsburgs, and you do have Victor Emmanuel, Kingdom of Italy, Queen Victoria, Napoleon III, all those people. Kaiser Wilhelm. All right, here you have an early unification where, I'm not sure, let's see how, I want to look into this. Let's see exactly where they are with that unification. I'll take a look at Abraham Lincoln too. Because Germany wasn't fully united until, I think 1870, I want to say, after the Franco-Prussian War. Alright, so you do start off with the United States. You do have armies, which is a benefit, a pro over the last one. The other one didn't have armies. The Prussian Kingdom, I guess they're not fully, Germany hasn't been fully formed yet, so that's good. That's accurate. Kingdom of Italy, maybe, that might be a little premature. I don't know if they, by 1860, I don't think it was till, ooh, I forget the dates on that. 1890 is when it was fully united to what it is today. But there was some unification going on, especially in the north is where the movement started. I forgot the exact dates. Ottoman Empire still looks pretty strong. Well, it still looks, you know, as strong as they could be in the 19th century. The sick man they are. This is the Russian Empire right here. Okay, similar starting scenario. Germany is kind of more sorted out in this scenario, though. But the cool thing about this one, that gives us a big advantage over the other one. Well, not that right there. This is WPA. That's ridiculous. But you do have some more specific national focuses here that are more historically oriented or historically accurate, kind of. So that's pretty cool. You've got here. See the enemy in the Northern German Confederation. So there's more specific national focuses that allow you to actually kind of play this out and map this out. If you're the history buff and you play this, you know, for the history, I love the history of this game. It's one of the reasons. And then we go, one of the reasons why I play. And then we go into the technology, which is a little bit more accurate. You have Springfield rifles, okay. You have more accurate technology. The dates haven't been changed yet. That needs to happen. But right now, you can play out with the 19th century technology and try to advance and progress. They haven't done anything with support divisions yet, or support companies. Tanks don't happen, so that's accurate. Artillery, looks like they fixed that one. But the rest of this kind of needs to be painted over and fixed. The artwork's pretty cool there, I think. But I guess they have some work to do here. It worked out well at that. You've got land doctrine, which is, you know, pretty well, mobile defense. I don't know, they might have to have work on that. Here we go. You have warships that are, you know, painted as they would look in the 19th century. You do have aircraft carriers, which is a flaw. Obviously, no aircraft carriers in the 19th century. You have to work on that one. They'll have to work on that one, but it looks like there's some progress. No airplanes, good. Okay, that they didn't come around yet. And more accurate with the nuclear power. It's going to take 27,000 days from the 1860s. Okay, and this technology is also a little far ahead of itself as well. So better with the technology, better with the national focuses. 3 different scenarios to start. You have Abraham Lincoln, which is accurate, although the WPA isn't something that happens until you know, the 1930s. So, you know, they haven't changed. Manifest Destiny, I don't know, is that in the first one? Yeah, this is basically the same scenarios, focuses as the vanilla game here. So something they could work on with that too. There is another interesting component to this game in policy that I thought was pretty cool. There it is. Okay, here we go. You can enact slave policy, slavery, or no slavery, and there are different impacts for that. Slavery weakens national unity, gains political power, reduces consumer goods to factories, increases factory output, reduces research time, costs 150. No slavery is greater national unity, less political power, Monthly population increases. Factory output reduces. Research takes longer. Okay. And then there's immigration. You can have high immigration, medium immigration, and low immigration. And there's different impacts. High immigration gives you extra people per month, less research time, or longer research time. Consumer goods to factories goes up. Alright, medium immigration reduces research time and reduces the amount of consumer goods you need to factories. Low immigration reduces population, reduces research time, and very minimal amount reduces. You get a negative consumer goods to factories. So that's pretty cool aspect. You have immigration policy and slavery policy that you get to enact here. As far as the advisors, they have still not been adjusted. So it seems like I would like to play the end of the new beginning right now. Just that disappointed in the biggest thing I'm disappointed in this one is the fact that trade was not working last time I checked it out. And Exile Divisions. There are Exile Divisions to start. Not playing as the United States, but I started as Italy. And basically the divisions had their same starting points as they do in the original game. So you had a bunch of divisions in Somalia and Ethiopia, as well as in Tripoli over here. And they were all exiled, so you had to bring them back. Just an FYI. So those are the two mods. Let me know what you guys think. Which one would you guys like to see on my channel? Which one do you guys prefer? And if there's any updates that anyone knows, please feel free to post them down below in the comments so we know and we can see. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.